narrative therapy has been growing and morphing, and so many more people have emerged of a younger generations to be learning from it and building on it. And so I wanted to just invite the two of you to help me and help us think about what is contemporary narrative therapy.
Contemporary, I guess, for me feels like embracing like movement or continuing to respond to shifts and changes in time and place and context.
I think one of the things about, classical narrative ideas is the ideas we're developing. We're not trying to say that was bad and this is now good, like we're just saying what are some different ways in which we can innovate.
Yes, in the spirit of movement, those foundational ideas, they are still being intercepted by discourse and ideas of efficiency and capitalism, So it also requires some kind of like simultaneous unlearning or resistance or transgression of those discourses. We've both finished these consultation groups. One of the things that people shared was like the fear of not being narrative enough, or the fear of using the wrong words to describe experience or practice or that sort of thing.
Some of the themes that the group focused on as an antidote to, the fear and from the fearless space was this idea of being embodied and intellectual, but not intellectualizing, tapping into magic and exploration, privileging creativity and emotion and knowledge making. We were a community of women. So we commented on that a lot as well. There's so many discourses that around women and women's bodies and what you should be and what you shouldn't. Yeah, to me, that's a lot of what contemporary narrative therapy is transgressing with ethics.
Maybe contemporary narrative is bringing a rigor to normative restrictions. Was something that kept circling in our consultation group, was really shifting away from doing this onto or for others, but that we're included in the practice as well. So I was thinking about how do we transgress, together, collaboratively. Does the word contemporary resonate for you?
I mean, I guess the space that I've heard that word the most is in the realm of art, right? Thinking about what is contemporary art, right? And how is that distinguished from traditional art forms? Right? What new materials are being used, right? What innovations are being drawn from? And then what happens when contemporary and non-contemporary mix, right? So I think it's also this, like maybe there was a way of making paper that paper is no longer made, but some contemporary artists is like, oh, but I really like the way that the Japanese were making paper back in the 1900s. I want to use that technique, but use my contemporary knowledge to innovate something new.
What I'm feeling quite excited about in co-learning and in contemporary narrative is to be even more attentive to inclusivity of different forms of knowledge and experience.
I really like that idea, because the way sort of fearfulness was present when I was first learning narrative ideas was that like, we're not doing it right because we're not doing it the Australian way. So I think about how to invite inclusivity while still maintaining some of the ethics and the backbone of the practice.
I'm noticing something about contemporary narratives is that the way I would discern it in this moment from classical or the foundational narrative is that in that context and time, it seemed like it was very important to distinguish narrative apart from other forms. In my experience now, there is the possibility for inclusivity in ways that doesn't kind of collapse that form and make it merge, but it can hold the integrity of its shape. So that's just something that I noticed about contemporary narrative.